Okay, doing picture of a beer here. Took this photo, it was really fun. It actually took me 3 bottles of beer to capture this photo, but I really like it. This is gonna be a fun one to do. I have a 6 by 8 inch linen panel here, very small. Actually, it was from a failed painting that I wiped off. That's how the tone is there. But you can do it yourself. You can use some ivory black and yellow ochre, paint thinner, and wipe with paper towel, or you can use ultramarine blue and burnt sienna or burnt umber. Whatever you need to do. Just get like a wash here and tone it to just get rid of the white canvas. And I put simple grid, just like the photo, help us draw this in. And it just started thunderstorming outside, so I'm gonna have some nice calming rain storm ambience in this tutorial. Colors, I got ivory black, cadmium red, yellow ochre, cadmium lemon, whoa, loud thunder, titanium white, and then some Gamblin solvent-free gel right here as my medium. Just gonna get some red and a little bit of black, using a number 0 flat brush to draw this in. So I can just kind of come down from this, from the top, figure out where the top of the foam is. If you think halfway is probably around there, and so it's a little more than halfway. Just kind of put it around there. And you can see that there's more on the right side than the left side. You can kind of put like a mark of where you want it to end right there. And here. It comes down. Kind of marking out the top of the glass. It's right around there. Down. Now I would like to kind of reverse things now and start from the bottom and work up. So I got this foam here, comes across that line and right there. Kind of outlining where this foam all is. Oh, see, that's way too high. Got lost for a second. Forgot to mark out how far this foam goes down the glass. Just kind of around there. There. And you know what? I'm not even gonna worry about putting in that handle because I know I'm just gonna paint all this black and then just come in with the highlights of the handle to draw it, so there's no real point in me drawing it. But I think that about does it for the drawing on this. I'm gonna start painting. Got a pretty big brush, number 8. Start with the background here. Some black, just a touch of red. Just get this background in. Now this ground, it's slightly lighter, so I'm just gonna go down to a number 4 brush. It adds just a touch of white to this black and a little bit of red mixture. It's gonna create a pretty nice desaturated purple. Actually, a little bit darker. Just gonna have it blend, fade right into the dark there. So that's good. It's always good to get the surroundings in, especially when you got like a very dark value like that. We can use that to gauge other values. And you can see that like a lot of the inside the beer, it's like really dark, just like there. So I'm just gonna get some black and some red. Maybe put a little bit more red than you did with the background, but it should be very, very close. So I just want to block out these dark shapes. Not super worried about, you know, like outlining the foam on the side. Not afraid to lose edge. Actually just bring, kind of go back to the background color. Just bring that right in. Dark shape there. And now I want to start working wet into wet paint and getting this, you know, reddish color that goes down to this golden color at the bottom. So like I'm just adding a little bit more red, working that wet into wet paint, not worrying about the foam, like I'll be able to paint that over top. Really want to get this wet into wet paint here. And I'm adding a little more red and yellow ochre as I come down here. Just trying to see shapes. I see at the bottom like this kind of pattern from the foot of the glass. Some of those are actually a lot stronger of a red. So you can get red, just a touch of the yellow. Kind of push a little more orange down there just a bit. On there. Just bringing some of that orange right into there. Branch off, more yellow. I got this yellow, I see a little bit of it in the base of that handle. That there. I don't like because I'm going to the handle. I guess I'll just get my rigger brush because I see like this part, it's reflecting a lot of this kind of like amber light. So I got the bottom there, in the middle. Right there, and it turns into white. I'm actually getting some white and mixing it into a little bit of the kind of saturated purple or gray. So a little bit of yellow ochre, so it's not pure white, and that's turns and bends. Right to there. Here. It goes up. Kind of comes over. So that's the bottom. These are actually not that bright. So I'm gonna tone that down a bit. I'm also like not making them perfectly straight, or not perfectly straight, but like not connected. Like I'm breaking it up a little bit. So there's one in the middle here that's a little softer, a little darker until it gets to the glass, then a couple little lighter specks there. This same kind of value a little bit down in here. Just putting just enough. And indicate this outer edge. Now let's move to the foam. Start with the top. I always like to work dark to light, so like the darkest part of the foam is right here, and you can see how it really just fades into the dark. So I'm going to take some of this amber color that I was using, because it is, you know, this dark shade of color. And this foam is kind of this warmer color. I need to really push the edge dark, have it really close. Even I gotta just clean my brush and just soften that edge and just kind of let it fade into that dark. Got that. Progressively get lighter. Still using some yellow ochre to keep it a certain color. And then there's like a little itty bitty shadow running along the ridge of the glass here. It gets a little lighter. Kind of around there. This part is all about values. So it's getting lighter. I'm just putting kind of like a base value. See, not even close to pure white on that. A lot of people would see the foam, like, oh, the foam, it's really bright, it's white. Nope. So, come back. And that is slightly curved, that line of the foam. Very, very subtle. But, you know, it's still a cylinder, still curved. Now, there's a few things happening in just this band of foam here. It's going to get light, you know, it's dark here, and it's going to get lighter. The lightest area is kind of around here. So I'm gonna make this, push it a little lighter. Now coming back and just mixing a little bit of that dark into there. It's very subtle, but places where this foam is spilling over the top kind of coming down into there. And a little right there. Gonna get a little more yellow ochre. Kind of push the yellow a little more in this shadow right underneath the lip. So let's just continue with this. We're gonna lay in a lot of the foam here on the glass, starting with the darkest value. I want to keep the paint relatively thin and kind of like as dark as I can get away with. And I'm going to not be afraid to have it run into the black or the dark from its surroundings. Soften the edges. Certain areas, you know, not being afraid to get pretty dark. You know, it's darker, like where I'm going right now, but it's still lighter than, you know, this dark shape next to it. You can see like the foam in here, it really blends into that color. So I'm just like lightly brushing in, like letting the paint mix a little bit with the color that's already on there. And we got this streak of foam kind of running right through there. And then here. Even with this, like I want to think about the form of it, you know. It's, you know, if I was to like draw grid lines on it, or not grid lines, but just kind of show you the flow, you know, or the form, it'd be kind of something like that, you know, it goes and it comes over. But right now I'm just going to kind of block it out with this darker value. And now I'm going to come back with a lighter value later. Just getting that in right there. And this. There. Soft edge right there. And you can see I'm not going to be afraid to have this get lost into the dark here a bit. I'm going to kind of just blend, get these soft transitions in this foam. I have to come back with the black. It's okay. gonna let this little foam at the bottom here, see, I'll just let that soft edge happen right into the dark. Gonna try a softer transition. There. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna pop back to this dark here, which is like the black, touch of red, and just establish these itty bitty little shadows right underneath this foam. I'm not outlining it, I'm not putting it everywhere, but just enough just to set it down on the ground here. Just like that. Got a base. Now let's go a little lighter. Actually throw a little more yellow ochre in there. I'm always comparing values, like I'm putting this in, comparing, you know, how light it is compared to everything else. I don't want to go too bright too fast. Noticing I need to kind of redraw this foam. It's actually kind of like there. Taking just a clean brush here and just working that background right into that foam. Get that soft edge right there. All right, now I'm going to push a little lighter as I develop more form in the foam. Just a little more white, a little more yellow ochre. Same here, just a little bit right there. See, with this foam, even though it's foam, you think like it's just flat. It is curved, you know. It's not just flat. Like you can, it's clear here. Like you can see like a cylinder form, and this center is a lot lighter. That's how you're gonna get the form here, and you're gonna help, and then you're gonna be able to portray it as foam and not just like weird looking cylinders by having these soft edges. And you know, I'm putting some in here. You know, it fades to, you know, darker there, so I'm not gonna bring it all the way up, but just enough. Yeah, I see a little more there. So like that might have been too much. Let me knock that back a bit. Now, actually kind of jump away from the foam for a second. Get some red and yellow, create a little bit of an orange, a little bit of black, red in there, not to make it too bright and vibrant. Still kind of like working the paint into the wet paint there already, the foot of the glass. Get another shape there. The main thing I want to get is I'm going to get actually just some pure white. Maybe not pure white. Maybe let's grab a little bit of like the gray from the ground, but this should still be very, very bright. It should be the brightest value that you have, just for this little reflection in the glass right there. But that's going to help you gauge. Hope I didn't make that too bright. But it's going to help you gauge like how bright to make the foam. So you put a little one right there. Go down to a rigger brush. There's one not as bright right here. And then a little something happening right there. Right there. See, now we can compare that to the foam. We're like, okay, we can probably, I don't know, we might be there with the foam. But I'm gonna, there is one, if you look close at the photo, you might not be able to see on the screen here, but if you pull it up, there's like a highlight there and a highlight there. Let me show you. It's like one right, let me go smaller brush. Got my zero brush. There's like one right on the like lip of the foam here. And then there's one kind of right there. Same right there. See, just putting those in gives so much form to those piles of foam. Actually, well, I got my little brush. I'm gonna get some yellow. Just a little bit of that orangey color. Just pop in a few little brights right there. That's pretty cool. It's also some of that yellow. Throw in a little bit of the ivory black, you're gonna get kind of a green. If you look really close, right, a little more black, it's kind of darker. There is like a little bit of a green here. It pops up like a little bit right here. There's like a little shape or two down here. I think that's it. Taking this bright, got a little bit of green in there. This color value that we have for the foam, and I think work it a little bit right there. Get like a pretty value. All right, now let's move to the top here. It's gonna first block this out with kind of like a darker, almost like a mid-tone actually. Because there's a lot of form happening just in this top here, because we have, you know, this is still a cylinder, and like you got this like flat top up here, and then this, you know, ridge of foam, and then the brightest highlight there, and you know, we got to pay attention to all that. You don't want to just phone it in. I'm also gonna make sure I get a soft edge with this foam, because foam is soft. Let's see, it's like shadowed here. Kind of like a solid color here. Going a little darker just for this ridge. This like edge here. I can actually push, I think, a little, maybe not that dark, but like a little darker right here. See, I'm starting to kind of get a little form. And actually right where the foam meets the ridge of the glass, there's like a little shadow right there. Just a little bit. See, we have like a little bit of form starting to happen. And so now I can do like the same thing I was doing with the foam earlier, and you know, lightest part is here. And then it fades. It's still light, like kind of this path goes right there. Get this shape right. Kind of goes up. Kind of spills over a little bit right there. All right, softening that. Still can go one kind of level lighter. Just like right, oh, that's a little too bright. Probably more like that. Working. Oop. All right, now coming back to my red and yellow mixture, which is an orange, and just a little bit, like an outline with that foam right there, just a little bit of interest. A little bit more of the yellowish orange, kind of at the top there. think that needs to be softened. So now I'm gonna get some black and a touch of red. Kind of pick and choose places to cut in these little bubbles. Here and there. Not doing every single one that I see. Far from it. Just enough. You actually don't have to do this if you don't want to. I feel like it was working nicely without it. I actually hope I don't regret doing this. But I think it's working. Making sure they're different sizes. I can push a little lighter this edge. Just trying to work a little more yellow ochre. I feel like I like the color of the foam up here. This isn't quite matching down here. I'm just going to work a little more of that into there. It's a slight color shift. Get rid of my fingerprints right there. I'm gonna kind of darken the edge of this part of the foam right here as it goes back into the dark a little bit. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna stop before I ruin it. Alright, hope you enjoyed this one. Have fun painting.